I built a custom order management system in Zite and connected it to Relay so it can extract data from purchase order PDFs and automatically research new leads. Let me show you how both of these workflows actually run. Check it out. I'm Zach from InnerDev Solutions. Our channel shows you how to streamline operations with automation and AI. If you need direct help, you can visit our website, innerdevsolutions.com. So in this video, I'll show you three things: a purchase order system built in Zite, a relay automation that extracts data from PDFs, and a second relay workflow that researches new leads that come in via a form. Both of these workflows start with a single trigger, and that's when a new record appears in Zite. So let's get into it. You can get started for free. There's links in the description below for both of them. So go ahead, get signed up there. Once you are into Zite, you'll have to create a new application. You can just prompt it to create purchase orders or an order management system and include purchase orders and line items, customers to start. You can keep it really simple, especially if you're new to this. That is a great way to practice and get a little more familiar with this type of build. Anyway, what I've got here is the purchase order interface. And at the top, we've got our workflows. That's like our automations. And then we've got our database here. So this is where everything gets started. We have our customers linked to our purchase orders. And then with our purchase orders, we have multiple line items that exist on this. And then I also have a leads table as well. On my website, we could have our form that allows users to contact us, and we can receive as much information as we want to add to the form. Once it comes in, we will have an automation that runs that does research on that particular new lead and then uploads it in the database, and we can view that within the system. And then we can even take it a step further. Let's say they end up becoming a customer because we have a lot of the information already. Click a button in the interface, adds them as a new customer. And then, like I said, on the purchase order side, what we're going to be doing here is within the interface, once a PDF gets uploaded that has the purchase order information, it will trigger in Relay to process that. And we're going to use AI to extract the details from it and then put it back into the database here, both in the purchase order and in the line items section. Customers, I've kept that relatively simple with the customer details, billing address, shipping address, status, those types of things. Purchase order, again, links back to the customer. We'll have a PO number, order date, requested ship date, status, billing, shipping address. We could add this order total is a roll up. Now, it seems to work part of the time, hasn't quite been worked out yet, or the bugs haven't quite been worked out yet, I have found. However, it's not a big deal because we can actually roll up the order totals in the UI itself. And then it links to the purchase order line items. And then we have the purchase order file attached field. And then these are all line items, description, links back to a purchase order, quantity, unit price, and then this is a formula. And the formula field works well within the same table. It's just when it has to reference other tables, I found that it has the odd bug. So basically we're just in the totals, quantity times unit price. So click into it, you can see quantity times unit price. And then lastly, we have leads, and you can add whatever information is relevant to you here. So if I navigate back to the app, this is the actual interface. We can see that we can upload a purchase order here, or if I select one, we can see all of the relevant detail to that purchase order. You can edit and add line items manually if needed. And if I go back out of this and click upload purchase order, I then will be able to upload a purchase order. It will create a new record here, and then we will trigger that automation or workflow in Relay that will extract all the data from. In Relay, I already have this workflow built out. New record added, that's our trigger. When a new record is added to that purchase order table, and I've got a filter when that purchase order file is not empty. The next step is an AI step, and I'm just prompting Gemini 3 Flash. I've added all the information, so extract data from the purchase order file, what details I want from the purchase order, and then what details I want from the line items. And I say for each line item extract, and then just some general rules based off of the date formatting. Make sure you pass the purchase order file or PDF to this step. And then over here, it automatically creates it for us. It's good to give it a quick review. You can turn it off and set it up manually too if you want. But we're just extracting customer PO, order date, and then requested ship date, addresses, and then line items. So this is a list. This is something that we're going to have to loop through at the end. And we're just getting description, quantity, and unit price. If I hit done, we can go down here, find record in customers. We're just looking for that customer name. If it's found it, then it will update it. If not, it will leave it blank. Based off of the extracted information, we can see this is calling from step 2, which is here. That's the PO number, the order date, and the requested ship date. Just all of these we're going to set in the draft status, and I'm adding the billing and shipping address information here as well. Now, this next step, this is a loop. If I click this plus icon, type in loop or iterator, loop over a list, add that in, then I can select the list to loop over, and that comes from the line items, which is the AI step. It's going to extract that and structure it as a list. Every item in the list we're going to loop over, and we're going to add those records to the purchase order line items table inside Zite. Quite simply, we just have to select that table, link it to the purchase order that was created, this first step here, and then we're just adding quantity, unit price, and description for every single line. Now, also within Relay, their AI Relay Assistant has got really good. You could get 90% of the way there by just asking it to create this process for you. And I'll show you once we go to build the lead research automation or workflow in Relay, I will use this. Upload a purchase order, and then I get to select a purchase order. Now I just have a sample one that I've created. Once I create upload, you can see it added a record. Doesn't have really any information yet other than just some random information that it populated. Now, if I go back here, I can start a test run. However, if I had this just turned on, basically what would happen is once I add that record, within a few minutes, this would trigger, go through the process, and it would upload the relevant data in the Zite database. Now we're just going to start a test run. This is the one we're looking for. I'll run this. We'll be able to watch it go through each step. Basically, the trigger happened. I triggered that manually. Now this step takes a few seconds to a minute to actually process the PDF. And then it's going to go through each additional step, and we'll go back in a minute and check in on Zite. This run was successful. Every step has a green check mark. If I go back into Zite, the bottom order here, it brought in the correct customer, order date, PO number. It shows us a order total. If I click on it, we'll be able to see the PDF that I attached. We can see all the order information. If I scroll down, we can see all of the different line items with the correct quantity, unit price, and total here is the correct total that we are looking for. And now that's just calculated in the UI. I mentioned the database order total doesn't always seem to work right away. Okay, now we're going to run through the lead research workflow. This one is going to be more of a tutorial. So if I just click over into leads, see right now I do not have any lead within my system. If I click this view inquiry form, it's going to open up a form that I've built in Fillout, which Fillout and Zite are the same company. So it's just a form building application that is built by the Zite team. I select this. It's just a simple and custom form that I built over Fillout and integrated into this web page. If I come in here, enter in company name, contact name, email, that type of information, that is going to be our starting point. We'll log it into our database, and then we are going to set up a Relay workflow that does research on that specific new lead. And the trigger is going to be when a new record is added, but we'll run through all of that. I've got the company name, contact name, email. I'm just going to paste in looking for assistance with building an e-commerce website. We'll submit this, see that it was successful. If I go back into Zite, go over to the leads table, click refresh, we can see that a new lead was added here. Now we're going to navigate to Relay, create a new workflow. In the chat box over here, when the Relay Assistant, we're going to ask it to build out a research workflow. I'm just going to say something like research new leads that come into the Zite leads table and update the research long text field based on what you find. I could have gave more detail, but this is going to be a good enough starting point. It's going to go through, think about this, It's going to ask us some questions. Select your Zite leads table. I need to go in and select that. I can hit submit. We can see that it's provided us with a plan, and now it's going to go ahead and execute that plan. There's lots that you can do. It's just searching Google. It's going to summarize the research using OpenAI or ChatGPT type step, and then update that research field. We can do research by going to look at Reddit if we wanted. We could do research on the web looking for specific articles. We could do LinkedIn research even. There's a lot of different ways to go and do research on that new lead. On the left side, there's this test workflow option, which I'm going to select in a minute. Really quickly, we can see it's correctly found, or I guess we provided it with this information. But when a new record is added to leads, that's the trigger. No filters on it, which is fine. We're going to do a Google search. So we're going to search based off of the company name and contact name. And then we're going to summarize all that research that comes in, and we'll update that research field back in Zite. If we're looking for more specific information, we come in here, customize the prompt. We can customize the type of research that's happening. But for the purpose of this tutorial, this should get us close enough. So I'm going to go ahead, test this workflow, and we will start the run. Back in the runs tab, it looks like it was successful. If we go back into Zite, we will look over here in the Shopify record back in the leads table. And we look at research here. I'll double click it to expand, and we can see there's a whole bunch of information. It looks like that it did do the research properly, and it added it back into the Zite database as we instructed it to. The cool part about this is I really didn't do anything other than just prompted it and instructed it on these steps that I wanted it to take. Now I could go back into the editor, ask it to do LinkedIn research as well, and add that into the summary. There's an endless amount of things that you could do with this type of workflow to do research on your leads or other customers based on the data that you have. Overall, Zite and Relay is a super powerful combination. You can build out custom applications, and then with Relay being used on top of that, you can build out custom workflows that are super powerful, integrate with different AI steps to handle the data within your database. These are both still relatively new platforms that are evolving and getting better, it seems like almost every single day. That's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you hit that subscribe button for more in the future.